Hey guys, how you doing? I did last week a video about the materials I use for design sketching, and I've finally got the chance to do an English version of this video, so bear with me if I move differently to the words I say, because it's a translation of the Spanish to the English one. So I'm starting off with the type of paper I use. It's actually a very simple and cheap type of paper. It's a printer paper. I usually buy them in big packages. Well, the packages between 500 and 1000. I don't know about the 1000 packages, but I definitely know that there are 500 packages. So the thing about this type of paper, for you guys who have already sketched with this type of paper, is that the markers go through. So what I do is I use an old sheet of paper which is full of doodles and traces of markers, and I use it as underlay for my sketches, so I don't get my desk dirty and full of markers. I know there are special types of paper for markers. I know Copic has its marker paper, and it actually is very helpful because it somehow spares the amount of marker you're using, of the amount of ink you're using on the paper, because print paper absorbs much more ink than the marker paper. But anyway, for practice it's actually very good. Now, going to the pencils I use, I got a set of Faber-Castell, but the one and only I actually use all the time is the HB version. It traces very nice lines, and it's actually very good. It works good for me. You have to test it out. This applies to all the things I'm showing in this video. You have to test them out for yourself. These are just some pointers for you to know what you can try out and see if it works for you. Now, for the pens and Fineliners, I use basically two of them mostly, the big pen and this one, which is a Papermate Flair M. And sometimes for a thicker outline of the sketches, I use this Copic Multiliner brush M, and the tip looks just like this. I know I've seen other videos where you can actually do very nice calligraphy or typography with this type of multiliners, but I just use it for the outline. Now, for the highlight, one of my favorites is this Pitt Artist Pen 101 from Faber-Castell. I don't know if you've seen sketches of products where there's a very nice highlight over the marker. So this pen actually traces the lines over the markers, which you can also do with another type of marker, or white pencil, or oil paint and a brush, but this one is actually very nice, and it's very practical because you can take it everywhere. Now, going to the markers, these are the cool grays I've got. They go from 0 to 10, and then I've got the black one, which is 100. And these are very, very good when you're starting off with industrial design sketching, because these are actually enough for you to start making a contrast of highlight and shadow. Sorry. And as you saw there, it has two types of tips, a chisel tip and a very fine thin tip for more detail work. And from these Copic markers, I've got the cool grays, as I said, and I've got another kit which is, I think, called the skin color theme or something like that. It has a lot of different tones of pink and skin colors, but I don't use them that often. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of pink, but you actually have all the markers you need for skin colors, which is very practical if you like to sketch people in general. But the two I use the most are the E37 and E35 for the wood textures. And what I use as markers for all the bright colors are the Copic Sketch, and that's a 36 color kit. You can either buy them one by one and choose the colors, or you can buy a whole set, and the combination of colors will be determined by Copic. The difference between these two are, first of all, the shape. One is oval and the other one is a bit chunky and square, which can also give you a nice grip. I like both. I really don't have a favorite. It obviously depends on what I'm sketching, but I actually got used on sketching with both of them. And the Copic Sketch have a brush tip and a fine tip like the Copic markers. What I like about the brush tip is it gives a very nice effect on the sketch, a very dynamic effect, and I don't know, it's just something I like. It looks very nice. That's the fine tip. Trying to get a focus there. And you can identify what tip you're using because of that gray line. It only comes on one side. In this case, by the Copic Sketch is the brush tip, and let me check by the markers. I think it's the fine tip. Yeah, by the Copic markers, the chunky square ones, it's the fine tip, and by the Copic Sketch is the brush tip. So, well, that's what I mentioned before. Is I like the way the traces fade out with the brush tip. It's actually very nice, but I don't know, you have to try it out yourself. Another tool I use by sketching is the iPad. Oh, sorry for that. I like the way you can work with it. It's very practical, and the stylus I use with the iPad is the pencil by Paper. There it says pencil made for paper. It's very nice. There are different options you can get for this stylus. I've got the wood one, but I also tested the one, I think it's aluminum in graphite or black. It was also very nice. And the thing I like about the wood one, or the wooden one, is it has a magnet, and you can snap it to your smart case or smart cover from the iPad, and it's very practical to have it on the go. It has two tips. The one at the back is the eraser. It works actually as an eraser in most of the apps where you can use the stylus, and the other one, it's basically just a pencil tip depending on the tool you're using. But you can erase also with the bottom tip, with the one you would actually sketch. You can select also the erasing tool and erase with the tip below. Anyway, sorry. It's a bit chilly outside, so please excuse my rough throat. If you want more info about the apps I use on the iPad, I will be posting a video about it, which applications I use, how I use them, how I sketch. And I actually want to remind you guys that I'll be offering online classes and online consulting about industrial design. So if you want to know even more about ID sketching or the career itself, industrial design, I'll be offering online classes. For example, if you have a specific question that you want to talk to me, or you want to ask to me and you want to talk with me about it, We could do it by via Skype or via FaceTime, and if that is not an option, I could also send you a video. For example, you could send me a question, a detailed question, what you want to know, and I would prepare a video for you. If it regards something about sketching, then I would do a video for you and I would send it to you via email or maybe a link via Dropbox. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think about it. If you want to know more about the classes, leave me some comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you out in industrial design and sketching, and thank you very much. Take care.